This is so important. President Trump sees Christians, persecuted Christians, as a priority. Check it out. Well, the president is being interviewed. One of the first reporters called on in the press room by the new press secretary, which his name is
Spicer.
Spicer in the White House, was a CBN reporter, and she asked about pro-life.
Which was awesome.
Yes, it's totally awesome and shocking to the minimalized other media?
I think so.
Is the media the opposition or something? Yeah. It's called it. Well, anyway, when David Brody's interviewing President Trump, he asked him about what we're very concerned about and been praying about is the persecuted church. It's like nobody's paying attention to the persecuted church. We had brothers and sisters, being crucified, being ran out of their communities. Remember, we had the nun that was on for Congress, Diane, I believe her name was, and also with James Foley and with the Egyptian Christians that were on the shore of Tripoli, where they beheaded all of our brothers there on the shore. And when James Foley was beheaded, our president he went and played golf. The former president.
Immediately after.
He went straight and played golf on Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
And it just didn't even make sense. Well, understand that. Now we have a president that's actually saying and caring about the Christians and what's happening to them, the persecution. As a matter of fact, let's go to David Brody's interview now.
Persecuted Christians, we've talked about this overseas.
Right.
The refugee program or the refugee changes you're looking to make, as it relates to persecuted Christians, do you see them as kind of a priority here?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, they've been horribly treated. Do you know, if you were a Christian in Syria, it was impossible, at least very, very tough to get into the United States. If you were a Muslim, you could come in. But if you were a Christian, it was almost impossible. And the reason that was so unfair is that everybody was persecuted, in all fairness, but they were chopping off the heads of everybody, but more so the Christians. And I thought it was very, very unfair. So we are going to help them.
Wow.
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, it really is.
Do you remember James Foley's parents?
Yes.
We had their entire interview.
Yes.
Remember the phone was going off and ringing, and these broken-hearted parents who were tried to get the government to be interested in going to rescue James Foley and others as well, and they couldn't figure out. Remember it was so painful watching them talk about their son, and he was comforting folks in there, and he was the first public worldwide where they sat there and literally beheaded James Foley. He was a member of the press and a Christian, and he was just witnessing. And they said that his letters became more Christ-like as those moments came, and people were turning to him for comfort. And our unresponsive government, it didn't respond, and it's like, what's going on? And then they were letting Christians. They wouldn't let Christians come into America. The reports are they were letting Muslims come in.
Remember, it took a whole movement to get them over here. There was a whole bunch of organizations. I forget the gentleman's name, but he worked with them to vet the Christians and raise funds to get them all across.
Well, yeah, but they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't let them in. But they were letting. And there's only like 3 million Muslims, I think, in America. It's not a small amount of number, but Christians, they were keeping the Christians back. And it didn't make sense at all because everybody's being persecuted, but the Christians were being specifically persecuted. They're the ones with the big Nazarene mark on their door and saying that, we're taking you and putting you in servitude, we're killing you, we're taking your children, we're taking
charging the jizya.
Yeah, the tax and also taking the young girls as their wives. And it was just horrific. And it was just totally unresponsive. To have a president like this is huge. I mean, this is just huge. Yeah. And I look at, open doors. You can see right here on your screen, this is the list of top 20 persecuted countries persecuting Christians. They have a score of 100. And what do they score? Well, North Korea is the number 1 with 92 out of 100 scoring as persecuting Christians. Then you have also Afghanistan that you're familiar with, that there are 89. They score 89 out of 100. Pakistan's 88 out of 100. Sudan, 87 out of 100. Syria, where all that persecution going on right now, with almost 500,000 people killed. That's 86 out of 100. Iran and Iraq, they're the same, 85, 86. Yemen, who just shot that weapon. We have Libya, number 11 on the top 100, 78 out of 100. And Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, 76 out of 100. India, 73. So you're looking at, and even notice Qatar at the bottom right there. We can come back, but Qatar, that's where a lot of our actors who are in the streets right now crying out for abortion, not all of them, but the ones that you saw in the streets, they're flying over to Qatar, taking their money to entertain them.
Yeah.
But they're actually treating Christians horrifically over it, and women, mind you.
Yeah, a lot of these countries are in North Africa, part of that 22-nation Arab League that was formed. But it's amazing what's happening. And I'm appreciative of Open Doors educating us and keeping us informed about this, because we need to pray for the persecuted church. It's not a time to slow down, but to step up.
Thank you for watching VFNtv. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe.
You know, a lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org.
Don't forget you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download our app and sign up for our newsletter, The Torch, at VFNtv.com.